Okay, so remember we have this problem that these new buttons we're making, even though they have the same class as the buttons on the page, they don't use the same functionality. They don't say the message when I click them. So I tried to handle events using the same .click function for these new buttons. Remember, we have code right here that says anytime you click a button that's called class alert, it should alert a message. Even when I append this class alert, it doesn't work. Now, that's because the new buttons are dynamically generated. Notice it says dynamically rendered content. So none of these actually exist to the browser yet. So how do we do that? Well, what we do is there's two ways. This is what we're going to use now is the document.on function. So what the document.on function does is it attaches a handler to the entire document, to the entire page rendered by the browser that listens for things. So notice here, document.ready, that handles the entire document. What we normally do is we just talk about the stuff we want handled on a separate basis. You know, we want class new button or class alert. But document allows the document to be scanned every time for the parameters that go into this .on function. So if you look on the page, there's an explanation of the document.on function. So what we're going to do is we're going to say document.onClick class alert. I want you to do the following function. So what we'll do is we'll just do the same thing. Control C, Control V. Keyboard shortcuts will save you a lot of time. Now notice that my dynamically rendered content will now be active. What happens? There we go. You clicked me. That's pretty cool, right? Now, you want to see another cool thing? You don't even need to leave this in there for the statically rendered content. Document.on as a handler looks for anything with class alert at any time on the page. So, anytime I click a button, the dynamically generated content will alert the message, or the statically rendered content will. Why? Is because this function document.on is always listening for clicks. So what happens is this handler .on specifically used for the document will always look for clicks. And once something is clicked, then the document will check if what was clicked was of class alert. And this will refresh how the document looks for handlers. So this will look for not only statically rendered class alerts, they will also look for dynamically rendered class alerts. So this is kind of confusing until you do it a few times for yourself, but just know that if you want to write code for dynamically rendered content and you want to write it for the same stuff that is the statically rendered content, like this, like these class alerts, do the same thing. And if you want them to have the same functionality, you can use a document.on. Okay, that's one method. The next video will show you the other method.